Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Let Us Be Sustainable and my Dahlia patch. Today I am going to harvest some tubers. The weather forecast is telling us that the temperatures are dropping. We're going to be in the lower 40s this weekend, and then temperatures will go up again, and then they'll slowly but surely start getting into the 30s in the next couple of weeks. So I will start harvesting some of these dahlias because I don't want to lose my tubers to a really cold snap in the freezing temperatures like 32. I'm going to harvest this particular dahlia here, who has seen better days. This is Salmon. She hasn't been performing very well, so I'm going to dig her up, check out the tubers, and proceed to sterilize them for winter storage. So it's in the Dollar Tree collapsible container. So I will be trimming it up and then carrying the collapsible container over to a workstation where I can remove all the soil and start looking at the tuber. So let me do that and I'll get back to you. Okay, here she is. This is Salmon. She still has buds, but she hasn't been doing very well. And it was one of the first dahlias that bloomed in early May. She did pretty well. She gave me long stems. But I think she's done. She's done. Her blooms are spent. They're not as big as they were. So I'm gonna trim this up. Trim it up. Let me see if I can get a better visual from this side. She was grown in the Dollar Tree collapsible container, and for the most part, it did its job. Now I want to be able to dump the soil into another container and take a look at the tubers on this particular cultivar. I'll be right back. She's been cut back. That's everything that I've cut from her. Now we get to see what the tuber is gonna look like, but I want to be able to take out this soil, and what I'm going to start doing is cut this collapsible container out and then dump the rest. So I'll see how that goes. Be right back. So here we are, and it doesn't seem to be. This is the root growth within the collapsible Dollar Tree container, the storage tote that collapses, and it did produce decent roots, and I'm going slowly looking for the tubers, trying not to break anything. I'm actually getting a little worried that I don't see any tubers. There's got to be something. So far, a lot of roots. Wait, there's a tuber. There we go. So far, I see one tuber. No, that's not a tuber. Here we go. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so this is probably the whole of the tuber. This is all soil. And this is it right here. Yeah. So there was great root growth within these Dollar Tree containers. Oops, I almost lost it there. Okay, yes, that's the tuber. Anything else? So it looks like salmon is not a very big tuber producer. Maybe, but it's got great roots. Yeah, there are a few of them. They're coming. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. There it goes. There they go. So here it is. Looks like it's producing a lot of extra clumps here. Uh-huh. I don't know if it'll break apart. I'm wondering. And there she is. I have one, maybe two, three. This is the mother tuber. I can tell because she's the dark one. Um, and it's been trying to grow some new. So far, so good. Okay, I'm kind of happy with these results from the inside of a Dollar Tree container. So let me go wash this up and then I'll be right back. Well, here she is, all cleaned up. And look at the root system. This is the mother tuber. These are the tubers she produced. They still look a little young. Maybe I harvested a little too early, but you know, she wasn't doing well. And I'm thinking of if it's questionable. I mean, it had been attacked by a raccoon, so I know it was trying to throw multiple shoots out. But See this here? This makes me question if it's leafy gall that this one has. It's questionable. I mean, the rest of the tubers don't have anything like that, but that makes me a little nervous as to why I think she wasn't doing well. She is producing tubers, but it's questionable. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here. Um, I might just get rid of that half and save this half because it's. But I'm gonna quarantine it. If next year I see that it starts to have that same look on the new tubers, then it's gonna have to go. So for right now, I will get rid of all these roots. I'm not even gonna save that. I'm just not. I think I'm just going to just cut off that entire side. I just didn't like it. I don't like this entire. This is what I'm gonna keep. That's gonna come off too. And that's what we're gonna keep. This is coming off too. If it's not gonna help the tuber, it's going away. And then I'm just gonna cut this down to here. And is this one gonna come off too? Yeah, it's not gonna help the tuber. Okay, this is what we're keeping. I'm gonna let this dry out. It has a few eyes. You can see the eyes. And I'll watch this. I'll watch to see what it does in the next season. I am going to keep the label from this grow bag, and I'm going to tie it to this so that I won't forget where this tuber came from. And I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to actually sterilize it with potassium permanganate and hydrogen peroxide, and that'll start the drying process and disinfecting. And it'll go in a shoebox with either peat moss or vermiculite. And I'm planning to put them in a refrigerator at about 45 degrees with maybe 65 degree percent humidity, because I don't want them drying out and I don't want them too damp to rot. But this one in particular I'm going to watch because it was questionable. I didn't like the multiple branching there. Going to see what it looks like next spring. If I'm going to label it, question it. If it starts to show signs of gall, it's out of here. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Now that I've cut the tuber up for storage, before I do that, I want to be able to disinfect it from any mold spores or any cuts that I had made done to it while I was cutting the tuber up that may cause disease. And I'm gonna just bathe it in here for 10 minutes. And what I'm using is potassium permanganate, which is a heavy duty oxidating disinfectant used on aquarium plants. So to use it on aquarium plants, you can use it on tubers too. Alexa, 10 minutes. There you go. I'll come back in 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 10 minutes that the tuber has been bathing in the potassium permanganate. Now, I will remove it from the bath and take 3% hydrogen peroxide to deactivate the potassium permanganate. I don't know if you can see, it turns the potassium permanganate clear again. See? And I want to make sure I get all the tuber. Especially in the wounds and in the crown where you cut the stem off. You want to make sure you get that. And then this tuber is ready to be stored. I'm going to let it dry. In fact, I'm going to rinse it again off in tap water. And then I'm going to hit it with a blow dryer to speed up the drying process. And then I'm going to store this in vermiculite in a shoebox in the refrigerator until the following growing season. But since this one was questionable, it's going to be packed alone. It's going to contain its label, just a salmon. And on the other side, I wrote questionable algae for leafy gall, and it's going in the refrigerator on tomorrow date, which is October 9th, 2022. So when I take this out, I know to plant this in a pot by itself, away from everything else, until I can determine whether or not it has leafy gall or not. So that's it for now. Comment, like, and subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know. The next video will be me putting it into the shoebox with vermiculite. Right now I'm going to hit it with a blow dryer to make sure that it's nice and dry, because I don't want my tuber to rot. The drier it is, the better. I don't want it to dehydrate. I just don't want it to sit moist and wet for long periods of time. If it's a solid tuber, there's no rot anywhere, and I want to keep it like that. I mean, there's a little sign of rot there, but the hydrogen peroxide should dry that up, and so did the potassium permanganate. It should clear up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit it with a blow dryer, and I'm going to show you what it looks like after I hit it with the blow dryer. So I'm going to be right back. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Now that I rinsed it in the tap water to get all the hydrogen peroxide off, I put the blow dryer on the cool setting on high and dried it off. So now she's dry to the touch. She's not completely moist, so I'm not afraid that she is gonna rot or anything. If you look closely, you can see where the cuts are pretty dry now. You know, they're pretty dry. Even the stem where I cut it is pretty dry. That's all due to the potassium permanganate and the hydrogen peroxide. So it's a heavy duty oxidizer. It really gets into the little nooks and crannies of the cuts. So if you damage the tumor in any way, it gets in there to disinfect it so that you don't get any infections or even rot. For it to continue to rot, it actually seals it off. It dries it out. So it's a good preventative. I'm also gonna put the label for this Dahlia back on. I also sterilized this in the bath, and I'm gonna wrap it around it. And I put questionable, and I put a leafy gall and the date that it's going into the refrigerator in the shoebox. And we'll see what happens next. The next video will be me actually putting them into the refrigerator. So if you have any questions about this process of mine, I just want to be careful. I want to start growing clean stock. I don't want to purchase any more tubers. I don't want to bring anything in. I want to be selectively breeding what I have and continue from there. So anything that's going to be questionable, if at next season it turns out to be leafy gall, it's going to get trashed. I'll either let it dehydrate and burn the tuber up so that it doesn't wind up in a landfill anywhere, because I don't want to continue adding to the problem of gall. This is the safest way I know to prevent any fungus rot or any pests from carrying on from one year to the next by using potassium permanganate. I'm also going to cover it with some sulfur powder before I put it in the vermiculite in the refrigerator, as I know sulfur is also a fungicide, as a preventative. And that's it. Hope you like, comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions. And thanks for watching.